So,
Yeah.
you've spoken a lot about hardships and all that.
Yes.
There's something you had written on your wall, what I
Yes.
saw, and I was interested. I was like, "Aye."
Yeah.
So that is actually what I want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, able to take us through the whole thingy.
The whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was in summary form about hardships
Yeah.
and the effects that hardships have in your life. But maybe before I get there, I want to just continue the story a
Yes.
little bit
Okay. Sure.
after marriage, and then now we can come back to that point in summary bit.
Yes.
So after marriage, we get our first child.
Yes.
That is my son Joseph. Yeah, and of course things start changing, at least for the better.
Yes.
You know, venye wanasemanga watoto wanakujanga na sahani zao.
Na jina ya mama ni Nerea.
Na jina ya mama ni Nerea.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least we could see some signs of the plates coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got our first child. We got our second child. And then we get our third child, who is Imani.
Yes.
Who is Crystal, sorry. Who was born on a Christmas Day.
Yes.
So in between the second child and the third child, things started changing a bit.
Yes.
Life sometimes is not a smooth journey all the way.
No.
Yeah, so the ups and downs begin.
Yeah.
And life challenges again begin coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, so normally when my parents come to Nairobi to pray for one or two people, they have to pass by my place to also pray for us and then go back home.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember there's a time now my dad came alone to our house in Kahawa, and we sat for a conversation.
Yeah.
And I told him that you've been telling me the same things day in, day out, that just be strong, things will be fine, God is with you, and all that. And I got so mad at him, and I told him that it's a cliche now.
Yeah.
At this point, what I want is results. Tell me that I'll get a job tomorrow, or tell me that I'll get some considerable amount of money tomorrow, but not these stories that it shall be okay.
Yes.
I want results at this point.
Yes.
And we got into a very heated argument.
Okay.
And he actually ended up leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I became so unmanageable. So I could not understand if God is so much loving the way we are told, and if He has everything in control, why I was going through all these hardships with the children that He had given me. I could not understand.
Yes.
So that's why I just told my father that yes, I'm very grateful that you came and all that, but I'm sorry, today it's not working anymore, and I'm not listening to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it had gotten that bad, and from that time onwards, much as I was brought up in a God-fearing family, and my grandmother was such a strong believer, and the way she raised us up was in a godly way and in a godly atmosphere.
Yes.
And also added to the fact that your parents are also servants
Church
of God
people,
and
yes.
church going, and they're praying for people. So generally your history is being
church.
is church and
God, yes.
God fearing. And of course, sometimes there are times when you stray away from that due to maybe things of life.
Challenges.
Yeah, it's normal challenges.
Yes.
Yeah, but the general trajectory was a godly life. So much as that was the background, it reached a point where I started questioning myself.
Yeah.
I started questioning my faith.
Yes.
I started questioning the existence of God. I started questioning, the prayers that my parents used to pray.
They prayed, yeah.
And at that point, you start looking at things from a different direction, and you ask yourself, what if the what ifs?
Yes.
What if this just maybe something made up? What if there's no God?
Yeah.
What if all these things I've been told all these years are not true?
True.
And what brings you to this? Whatever you're going through. So that time we were expecting my third daughter, my third child, who is the second daughter, that is Crystal. So one way or the other, you manage to push through.
Yeah.
And we are blessed with her on 25th of December. That was I think 2020, just before the Corona period.
Yes.
The Corona, I think it began hitting 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get our third born that time. I thank God, because even in all that questioning and all that kind of circumstance, you find a way of moving on.
Yes.
God always has a way of pushing you through. Whether you want to believe or maybe not, He finds a way of pushing you through. So we went on like that. Of course, I'm still questioning until now, 2021. At that time, I used to train. I used to train tennis. I used to be a tennis service provider in Mirema School.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least that was one of the places, income generating activities. Now, with the onset of Corona, you know what happened to to sports.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything had to stop.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I said, okay, I think I'm now done. Because if this is what I was depending on, and now everything is now getting stopped, I think I'm just now done.
God and God, it's too much. Yes.
This is now too much. So I remember in February, my parents were coming to Nairobi to pray for some people who had called them. So when they came, they met a lady in I'm not sure that it's Kariobangi or there is tiny Itoaje. We have
those sides of Eastlands.
Yeah, after Kariobangi you go to a place kuna takataka.
Dandora? Yeah,
Dandora. Okay. Yes. Okay. So they met a lady in Dandora, and the lady, as they would come to tell me, she used to have now these spiritual gifts. Okay. And then at some point she strayed. So when she met my parents, there's a way now the gifting got reactivated. Okay. For people who understand spiritual matters, there's always a way. When you meet up with the servants of God, there are some things that happen. So when the gifting got reactivated, she shared with my parents some things about our family.
Okay.
about my brother, about myself, about my other siblings,
Okay.
about my family in general. And my parents listened. And when they listened, they decided that, okay, I think it would be a good idea if we carried her along
So to come to
to
you.
come to my house.
Yes.
Since she has said all this, she can come over for when they come for their prayer session, as it was their tradition to
Yeah.
always pass by my house before going back home. So when they came, now that is when now the real story begins.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that time I used to stay with a house help,
Yes.
a Luya lady from Kakamega. We had her for some months,
Okay.
maybe like half a year, and then she had gone for the December Christmas
Yeah.
holidays, and then now she came back in January. Remember, now we're in February.
Yes.
So when my parents came, that is I think it was on second March of 2021. Their journey from wherever they were coming from, I think they were coming from Lakisama to now Kahawa, and the other lady was also coming with another lady friend, who I think was her aunt or something.
Okay.
Because she was not so familiar with Nairobi
area.
routes. Yeah.
Yes.
So she had to get somebody along to come with. So I remember getting so angry because we were expecting them around maybe 10, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
The journey to my place for all of them took them a lot of times. So many challenges along the road.
Yeah.
You know, mara conductors sija mawapitisha. You know the way you tell the conductor
Yes,
that ukifika mahali, let me know.
Yes.
So the conductor forgot, and you know. So I called my parents. I'm like, what is taking so long?
Yeah.
I'm almost getting tired because I need to also go do my things. We had agreed on an early morning session. It's almost midday. There's no sign.
Yeah.
So they explained to me that they were still waiting for the other two ladies to join them so that they could come. So, okay, I waited, and finally, they come in, and as it was their nature, when they come in, they start with maybe a song or two, then the prayers begin.
Yes.
So as they were just starting and the prayers are beginning, something happened that to me was more of a dream.
Okay.
I thought I was dreaming, yet it was happening right before my eyes. What happened was my house help, who was sitting on the extreme left of the sitting room, bolted right out of her seat, across the sitting room to the extreme right where this lady was, and attacked her.
Huh?
Yes. And when she attacked her, she started screaming that, you know, sikutaki, umekuja kufanya nini hapa? And so it was an onset of a fight.
Okay.
I think for the first minute or so, I got really confused because I really didn't know what was going on. So she became so violent, she became so unruly, and now we now tried containing her. Remember, we are me, my wife, my mom, my dad, the two ladies. Those are
And now her.
around six adults against one person.
Whoa, okay.
She used to be not a built lady, a slender lady.
Yeah.
But at that moment, the strength is out of this world.
Wow, okay.
And an idea came to me, and I said, let me record this, because one day I'll be sitting somewhere and sharing this story.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody will say that I'm just saying this
It's
to
a joke.
maybe it's a joke or
Yeah.
to make the story maybe nice.
Yeah.
So I said, let me have this as a record on video, so that one day when I'll be saying my story, I'll have something to back it up with,
Yes.
so that somebody can
Understand.
really understand that this is not something that I'm saying for the sake. It's what I'm saying as a true testament of what
Yes.
really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pandemonium. The lady is writhing on the ground. We are trying to contain her. And now she's starting to talk. She's starting to talk about things
Yeah.
that at that point I didn't understand. But from what you can see, there's somebody who is possessed, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really thank God for my parents, because they are blessed with this gift of they do a lot of deliverance
Oh,
and
okay.
all that.
Yes.
So at least what gave me the strength and courage was that I'm in good company.
Yes.
Because
Kuna mtu wa-
I don't know I
If
don't
you're
know
alone.
what would have happened
Yeah.
if I was alone. So yes, it was an entire session around maybe 3 hours or so, trying to now get to understand what is happening,
Yeah.
and how to arrest the situation.
Yes.
So thankfully, um, my parents prayed for her. They listened to her, whatever she was sharing, and trying to deliver, the demonic spirits.
Yeah.
It was kind of a snake spirit in her, because
Okay.
if you watch the videos that maybe I'll send you, you kind of see her movements, the way she was moving on the floor,
Yes.
and hissing like a snake.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was a scary situation. And she really talked a lot of things of some about herself, her own
Yes.
life,
Yeah.
some about us.
Okay.
So as this was going on, now it reached a point, she was asked, I think this lady who was in the company of my parents,
Yes.
asked her that we see a knife under a bed. Are you aware of the knife, and what is it doing there? And so she said that yes, the knife is there, and what I wanted to do with it, I wanted to do a blood sacrifice with it. And true to her word, they went to the bedroom where she was sleeping with the children. We normally it's a 2-bedroom house.
Yes.
So there's a bedroom, and then there's the kids' bedroom,
Yeah.
where she also used to sleep. So they go to and they open up the mattress, and to our horror, there is a kitchen knife.
Wow.
There's a kitchen knife under the mattress. Yeah. So we are now trying to understand
Yeah.
what is happening here.
Yes.
So they came back, and the prayers continue, and we only have an idea. Of course, we don't have the full story.
Yes.
Because as you're trying to get an understanding of the situation,
Yeah.
you're just hearing things
Yes.
left and right. So anyway, they finished the prayer session. It was around evening, and it's now time for them to go back. And we are told that let us just have her around. Let us not take her away, and yeah, we should not fear anything. Let life continue.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So what I did the next day, I took her and sat her down for a session, a one-on-one session with her. And I asked her to maybe explain all this.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Because we don't understand what is happening.
Yeah.
So when I sat down with her, it's a full story. Maybe I'll just say it in summary.
Summary, yeah.
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 So now I'll say it now backwards.
Okay.
Yeah. So she explained to me that in her in the just before she came, she had some like spiritual interferences, and her mission was to give, sacrifice for in every house that she was to go work as a maid.
What? Okay.
She was to offer a blood sacrifice. And remember she had come to our house in 2020, I think around September, October, thereabouts. When she came in, and just before she went for
yeah,
she was kind of from a normal assessment. She was kind of that regular house help,
just kawaida, nothing
kawaida,
dramatic.
nothing dramatic.
No, yes.
Yeah. So when she came back after the holidays, the only thing we ever noticed with her was that after when maybe you are eating together supper or after supper, or any moment when you'll be with her in the same room, you'll be watching TV or something like that, she will seem to be very far away in terms of maybe her mind is not really there.
Yes.
Yeah. And she had one particular chair that she used to sit on. It was a chair that was next to the sink, and there's a sink for maybe washing your hands.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll come to explain later why that chair. So she told me that now when immediately she came back, she started seeing something appearing to her in the form of a head, just a head alone, with a lot of hair on the face. So at first, when that thing approached her, she would get scared, and maybe kind of like, it's something strange.
Yeah.
So the thing kept coming again and again. So she said that after some time, she started getting familiar with the visits. Yeah. Yes. And now she started kind of having conversations with that head. And now the more she began having these conversations, the head will tell her a lot of things, like we want, or I want you to be friends with me, and this is the agreement that I will make you rich, and I'll do things for you.
Yes.
She was an orphan.
Okay.
I think the dad, I'm not sure whether both parents, but the dad had passed on.
Okay.
Yeah, and so when this thing will come to her, it will persuade her to do some things. Like, for example, I want you to, when you're cooking supper or something, I want you to get something and maybe put it into the food, so that when these people would eat the food, they would started getting some coughs and all that, and that is how maybe one or two will
just
die.
Just distraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she also said that when all this was happening, on the other side, the image of her dad would also appear to her,
Yes.
telling her that, my daughter, you have a bright future ahead of you. Usifanye kitu mbaya.
Okay.
Yeah, don't mess up your life.
Yes.
You have a bright future ahead of you. Don't do anything bad. These are good people and all that.
Now, like the opposite of what
Yeah,
she's
the
being
opposite
told.
of what she's being told.
Yes.
At the end. So she was in a kind of vuta ni kuvute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start seeing a spiritual warfare. So all this went on, plus other stories like she had an uncle who used to stay in Kayole. So maybe during the weekends, anaenda huko,
Yes.
yeah, to see them. Her brother was also there.
Okay.
And sometimes she said wakati maybe hana fare, this thing will tell her what to do.
Oh.
Yes, so that maybe conductor kikuja either anampita tu or anaambia tu conductor.
And it worked?
Yeah, it worked. And there was a time when she told me now she got another conductor who stood his place and stood his ground, and told her that, hey, young lady, you have to pay.
Yes.
So this thing told her what to do, sijiweke mikono vipi. So when she was alighting, there was kind of a disagreement between her and the conductor because he has not paid fare.
Yes.
And she's supposed to pay.
Yeah.
So the young man told him, you have to pay. And so they got kind of in a fight.
Yeah.
So when the fight was starting, this voice told her what to do, and the scenario changed so that the people, crowd start gathering.
Okay. Yeah.
So the people who came, it's the conductor who is on the wrong. Yeah, the mistake is on the conductor's side, and so the crowd was like, wewe ni nini unavurugana na msichana, let her go. Yeah, so this companion of hers would tell her so many things. It was more of like a spiritual power, because it used to tell him like, maybe when you come from your off and you'll find Mama Jose amepika chapati.
Yes.
And true to that word, she will coming and find that anapata chapati imepikwa. Or when you are conversing now, her being a Luo and us Luos, it will translate everything that we are saying. So she will kind of understand what we were saying, despite her being a Luo. Yeah, so we will later come not to realize that the seat that was her favorite seat was because the head will always come and settle on the sink. So that was yeah, that is why now she used to sit on that particular chair.
Yes.
Yeah. So things accelerated, and now on the day before my parents came in was a Sunday, because they came on a Monday.
Yes.
On that Saturday, my wife traveled to Kisii for a burial of there's a friend of theirs who had lost her mom.
Okay.
So she traveled. So this thing told her, now's the time to give us a sacrifice. And before then, she had been trying to make this happen. And the target was either the firstborn, who is Joseph, or the thirdborn, by then, who was my lastborn, that was now Christian. Yeah, so the target was the firstborn or the lastborn at that time, because according to them, the girl in between, who is the money, had a bitter blood, so they didn't want her. So they had told her everything, also how to execute the death, and now that is how that knife had gotten into
Oh,
under
okay,
the
for
bed.
bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember there's a time when Joseph came to her mom, his mom, sorry,
The mom, yeah.
with a cut on the hand. You know, being a child, you know, he comes and like, oh, mommy,
Yeah, kuna
yeah,
chuchungu.
kuna chuchungu. So you know, the mom is maybe like, maybe they're just playing outside,
Yeah.
and he got a cut.
Yes.
Now, as you'll come to now, she will later come to confess. There was a time when she had bathed the last born, that is Crystal,
Still, yes.
and in the room now when she was applying oil on her,
Yeah.
that voice came to her and told her to stab,
This is the time.
yeah, to stab the child with a knife. So it happened that Joseph got into the room, and you know, now there's a struggle of the ownership of the knife. So in the process of that struggle, that is how now the cat came in. So at that point, nothing happened. Life continued. And all this time, as parents, we have completely no idea of what is going,
happening,
what is
yes.
happening. Si nyinyi mnakaa na house help, maisha endelea. You know, every day always go to sleep and, you know, pray, God, you know, cover my children, cover the family. And you remember, I told you at that time, you're praying and all that, but again, you are questioning whether
God,
whether
the whole, you're
the whole
losing
thing.
hope and
Yes.
everything. Yes.
So you're praying more of, like a routine. Yeah.
Ishe tu
So little did we know that actually
God.
these prayers
was important.
were that important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when now she had traveled and I was left me, the house help and the kids.
Yeah.
Normally when she was when my wife was traveling, remember that child, the last one was still young, so she used to sleep in our bedroom.
Yeah.
But now when she was traveling and I was alone, she will now sleep with her in the same bed. And what can be a better time than that?
Yeah.
She told me the idea was just before the night, that is around evening. You know, I had gone to get some mutura to eat.
Yeah.
I like mutura. So when I got to the kitchen and I was making some kachumbari, now she was behind me. So I was standing there cutting some tomatoes and she was behind me. So you see, like in Nigerian movies, the way, you know, somebody comes and does that to you, and you know, you fall and things
The whole
happen.
Niger.
Yeah. You know, people sometimes ask, are these things real? Or they're just, you know,
Just
movies. But I came to realize that they're actually real. So what was to happen was that, no, she will do that to me.
Yes.
And then once she has, you know, kupagawa,
Yes.
once she instills those spirits in me,
Yes.
it somehow turns your mental faculties around. And now, what was to happen was, now I would see her as my wife. Probably I will sleep with her. And then now, in the evening, the sacrifice was to take place. Now she will stab the kid. They get their blood. And then now when
She
my
becomes rich.
when now my wife comes in on a Sunday morning, I will become so mad with her, and I will tell her, you are lying to me that you are going for a funeral, kumbe umeenda kutembea na wanaume.
Yes.
You are no longer my
Your
wife. Yeah. So I was to lose my family, I was to lose my child, and also, from what she said, I was to lose my sanity. So that...
so you are not even going to be with her and be happily married?
Yes. Okay. I was now to, you know, become this mad person who roams around. You know, Githurai is just next to us there.
Yeah.
So that is where my destination was to be, you know, picking stuff and all that.
Yes.
So now the night comes. Not before the night, no. You see, when now she's told to do this to me, yeah. You see, God has a way of preserving people.
Yes.
And especially if you walk in righteousness and pray, God has a way of preserving you.
Yeah.
Because, for example, let me give you a scenario. Normally, the lifestyle or the mentality we have is that, when your wife is away and all that, you start messing around, maybe with the house help or other women and all that. So now I want to give you a scenario where here I am. Now I want to mess around with her.
Okay.
On one end, she's trying so hard to find you.
Yes.
And now on the other end now, because you want to mess around, you are giving in.
You're giving, true.
And sex is one of the spiritual ways of, they usually gateways, spiritual gateways.
Yes.
Yes.
There's an exchange.
Yes, there's an exchange of
true.
spirits.
Yes.
So especially if you are being hunted, let me say you're being hunted, one of the best ways to find you is through sex. Yes. So that if I am to give in, she will no longer be struggling to find me. Every plan would, would work as whatever they want will happen.
Yeah.
But now, thank God that because of being right and keeping away from sin and prayers, it did not work at that point. Again in the night, these things again pursued her.
Yeah.
This is the time to take the knife,
Yes.
stab her. We'll drink all the blood, so there will be no blood traces.
Yes.
And this is the exact place to stab. And again, she will say that the idea was after stabbing, she will help you escape, things like that. So no evidence. Wao wataamka tu wakuje washangae mbona mtoto haamki, you get. Then now only to go check the child and find a lifeless body there.
Yes.
So when she told me all this, I was shocked. I was shocked, and I now traveled backwards.
Yes.
And realized the situation that I was in.
Yes.
And I realized that it was no child's joke. And I realized that if this is what God has, taken me from,
yes,
then God is alive. If this is what He has done, then despite my hopes of,
considering
wanting,
even you wanted to just give up.
yes,
and everything.
wanting, to get rich and all that.
Yes.
If I have my family intact today, if I've not lost my child, if I've not lost my sanity, then indeed God is alive.
Yes.
And God is God. So normally, when people give testimonies, they say, oh, I'm so and so, I'm born again, I met Christ on such and such a date. If I was to do that kind of thing and maybe mention a date, I would mention that date, the 2nd of March of 2021, as the day when
you met
God. I met God.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally. Then I told myself that if God is God, then let me be serious with Him. And that is the day when now I turned around and started to be serious with God. Of course, when I shared the clips and the short story, everybody was like, the first thing you need to do is get fair, all her dues that you have for the lady, maybe some token, just let her go. Yeah.
I would actually just want to ask,
and
she kept staying after that.
And remember, the same God has instructed you that don't chase her away. Let her stay. You can imagine what the atmosphere was the second night where she was there. It's like a horror. It's like a horror movie where you feel, the wind moving the windows a bit, or the unashtuka, like, are the spirits back? So of course the first days were scary, and we are not sure really whether we were safe, but we said, okay, if God had been protecting us for all those
that
years,
time you didn't
when
know.
we didn't know,
Yes.
then let us
Even-
trust this
yes,
God
yes.
to
Do it
continue with
again.
protecting us even after knowing. Because normally the tragedy with the human mind is that once you know, it
Actually,
becomes
yeah,
a
that's
different
where-
ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were told until that point when
Yeah.
she will ask to go, just
kick
let
her
her.
out.
Yeah, no, until herself will
She
ask to
comes
go.
to tell
Yeah,
you, I need to go
yeah,
now.
just let her go. Don't oppose her request.
Yes.
Just let her go.
Yes.
So we stayed with her all that while until that time when it's referred to the time Uhuru alifungua barabara. Yeah. So she requested us to let her go, follow up on some few things at home.
Yes.
I remember it was not the best time for her to leave because we were a bit engaged on some issues. So we asked her, how about to give us some few days
Yeah.
before before
Mm.
we ended, we settled some 2-3 things, but she insisted. And then now I remembered the instruction.
When it is time,
yeah,
let
when
her
it is
go.
time, when she requests, let her go. Yeah, so we gave her all her dues and everything, and she went.
Yes.
After some time, I tried following up, maybe called the number, but it was off. So I'm not really sure how it ended
How
up.
it- yeah.
But after the deliverance, she tried, living a bit normal life.
Yeah.
But again, on her side, there wasn't much seriousness because, for spiritual things, you have to make a resolve
Yeah.
to change. You have to, once you've decided this is the path that you're taking,
Yeah.
you have to follow that path.
Yes.
Remember, there's the saying about shetani mbaya akitolewa, he will go roam around,
And
comes
yeah,
back
tarudi
with the
tu.
other 7.
Yeah.
Akipata the door is open, he'll come back
Anaingia.
in. Yeah.
True.
So there was not really that seriousness on her side, but we are hoping for the best for her. Yeah. So after that, I now decided to now let everything in the hands of God. And from that time, I can tell you for sure that when God says He will do something, He's faithful to
Yes.
His word.
Yes.
And it might not be at the speed that we want
We are
it.
not on the same timeline.
It might not be at the time that we want it.
Yes.
It might not be at the scale that we want it. But you can see a trajectory
Yes.
that indeed you are not the
point,
same,
yes.
that the same way you were yesterday.
True.
God is doing something.
Yeah.
And of course, He's a patient God, and His ways are not our ways. Kimanadabu tunaonaga anaenda pole pole. But of course, there are reasons for that.
Yes.
And part of the reasons is that when He blesses you instantaneously, we tend to forget. So that the blessings turn out to be curses.
True.
Actually, blessings can end up ruining your life. Maybe you didn't have a car.
Yeah.
Mungu amekubariki na gari. What do you do with the car? Maybe start messing around with it. So God takes His time to prepare you,
Pole,
even
pole.
for the blessings,
Yes.
to teach you,
Yes.
to harden you, so that you face challenges with strength, so that when the temptations of life come,
At least you can stand.
you stand firm and you stand strong.
True.
Yeah. So looking back at my life, the summary of it is that when I look back and see what the journey has been, there are some lessons that I can pick from that journey. Number one, if anyone who is watching this and maybe going through a tough period in his life and is doubting the existence of God, I can tell you for sure that God is alive. And God, it may seem like God has abandoned you.
Yes.
It may seem like God is asleep. It may seem like God is not responding to your prayers.
Yes.
But hold on right there. Continue doing what's right. Continue praying. Continue having faith. At His right time, he will come and rescue you. In the story of the resurrection of Lazarus,
Yes.
we learn that Jesus was accused of being late, actually 4 days late. But when he came, what happened? Lazarus came back to life.
There was resurrection.
Yeah, and that is why an artist sings in her song that when he's 4 days late, he is still on time.
Yes.
So most of the times, it may seem like God is late. It may seem like God is not moved.
Yes.
And actually, people do have a lot of questions regarding life, regarding the troubles of life.
Yes.
That if God is such a loving God, if God is, is alive, why should he have all these problems? Why are people dying? Why all these,
Why can't he work
Yes,
this
why can't
out?
he work this?
Yes.
Indeed, I was in that position. And that is why actually I'm here.
Yeah.
I was in that position, and I really, actually ilibaki tu kidogo, and I was going astray.
Ulikuwa umefika mwisho.
Yes, if not for this thing that happened
yes.
in
which was probably maybe your last time even to wait for your parents.
Yes, I would have really gone astray. So sometimes when I see people questioning about God and his existence,
Yes.
I understand. I understand because I was once there, and I really had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So my advice will be, or my plea,
Yes.
just stay put, continue praying, continue doing right. God is alive. The other thing that I will also wish to say is that there's a way the enemy uses finance, or the lack of it,
Always.
to draw people to him.
Yeah.
Poverty, as it is, no one likes poverty.
No.
And poverty can kick you to the ground. It can really mess you up. It can make you feel like you are a nobody. You are nothing. It breaks you completely.
Yes.
So normally, and maybe you've seen it around,
Yeah.
sometimes people get to what they call their end, and they opt to get into other things.
Easy life.
Easy life.
Ways.
Or easy ways.
Yes.
That could be maybe superficial in terms of spiritual stratification. It could be something as superficial as maybe having what do we call them? A sugar daddy,
Yeah.
or a sugar mommy,
Sponsor.
or sponsor. But what they don't understand is that these things will always affect you.
Yeah.
And not just in a small way, but in a very big way.
Yes.
Both spiritually and even physically. Your life will never be the same again.
Never.
And it could be as superficial as that, or it could be as deep as devil worship,
Yes.
or outright satanism or occultism, all that.
Yes.
Like now you see the house help was promised that if you give us this, we'll give you riches. Yeah. So the devil uses poverty or financial hardships to lure people into his kingdom. And that is why as people of God, or as somebody who is serving God, unfortunately, you might not be in the best financial shape like you wanted. And that is why you find this common saying that, religion is an opium of the masses, or an opium of the poor. Why? Because normally, people who really serve God in truth and in righteousness, they are never, people who will have, all this opulence and, everything.
Yeah, that life.
Yeah, that life.
Yes.
Part of it also maybe will be to keep your focus.
Yeah.
Because there's a way these riches always shifts our life,
Yeah, you
or
forget
corrupt
so
us.
much,
Yeah.
yes.
So you forget about God.
And where you came from.
Yes, and that is why the Bible says that do not give me too little that I may, be tempted to steal and shame your name,
Yeah.
or too much that I may, forget about you and ask who God is. So that balance has to be there.
Yes.
And it's also usually said that no one, and maybe you've seen me post some of these things a couple of times in my status updates, that no one gets to that astronomical levels of finances and riches without a spiritual backing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
yes,
it
yes.
is important for anyone to realize that you need to have a spiritual backing to attain some levels of success. It could be either, a satanic backing
Yes.
or a godly backing.
Godly, yes.
Because everything that belongs in the universe or wherever is created by God. God is the owner of everything. And God is the owner of blessings also. So yes, God also blesses people. Not everything good is from Satan. God also blesses people. But what happens normally? Normally, we do not want to go the full circle in order to attain the blessings of God.
Yes.
For you to attain the blessings of God, it's a process. It's a whole process. One, righteousness, patience, and,
Yeah.
a whole regime of discipline, and getting there finally.
Yeah.
But eventually, when He blesses you, He blesses you
Exactly.
abundantly.
True.
And the blessings of God do not come with sorrows. But blessings of Satan
Yeah.
come with a lot of sorrows.
A lot.
And in their eventuality, they are never blessings.
They are not blessings.
You
It's
do not enjoy them.
Yeah, it's just to
Yes.
close your eyes. It's like a blink.
Yes.
When you open, it's
Yeah.
good. Then, oh God, it's gone again. We're
Yes.
starting.
And even through that, when you feel like you have so many things,
Yes.
you're not enjoying them.
No.
Because Satan is using you so much
You're not
that
at peace.
you have no time to enjoy them. You
Yes.
have no peace of mind. And I would like to borrow from the story of Job. You see, Job, when eventually he was to be blessed, he first of all passed through a lot.
Lost it all.
Lost it all.
Yes.
His friends mocked him.
Yes.
His wife told him that, you go and abuse that God,
Yes.
because I don't really think
Oh,
that
yes.
God is there.
Yes.
If you're going through all this thing. And his friends came up with all theories of why he's suffering and all that.
Yes.
Maybe he sinned and all that.
Yeah.
So there are many people who are in that position, even as we speak today,
Yes.
and they are wondering what it is that they're going through.
Yeah.
So my encouragement to them is to learn from the story of Job. Do not give in to the enemy or to that soft life that is presented to you by the enemy as a form of temporary comfort or temporary pleasure.
Yes.
Yet in the end of it, lose it all.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing that maybe I learned from my life is that the importance of letting God guide you
Yeah.
in your life decisions. There are points in life when we have to make important decisions, like for example, who to marry, what business to start,
Yeah.
what career to get into. Sometimes as humans we try to approach these things from a human perspective, but sometimes it never works that way. For example, when it comes to marriage, most people, the textbook procedure is always meet, date, maybe
Yes.
3-4 years, 5
Yes.
years. Are we compatible? But maybe to ask you, can you reach a point where you'll say that, okay, I've known this person inside out.
No.
Whether it's 10 years,
No,
it can.
because you're still learning every day.
Yes,
I'm
you're
married.
still learning.
I'm married 15 years, and some things I'm still learning.
Yes. The other thing,
Yeah.
the human behavior is largely a contextual thing.
Yes.
Our surrounding will determine how we
Everything.
behave.
Yes, true. Reactions and everything.
Today I may be the richest person maybe in town.
True.
Tomorrow I don't have anything.
Nothing.
If somebody was attracted to me because of what I had,
They
what
go.
happens tomorrow when I have
They're
nothing?
out.
They're
and
out.
You call them your best friends.
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow I can be, this well-built, tall, dark and handsome. Maybe 3 years I've added on weight.
Yeah.
Today you are,
Unatoka soko.
figure 8.
Yes.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
maybe due to family and all that,
Yes.
you've lost your figure and all that. What happens? Will you still be attractive if somebody was attracted
No.
to you because of your figure?
No.
Yeah, so if you don't rely on God to give you a good partner,
Yeah.
who will take you through. You see, marriage is a lifelong commitment.
Yes.
It's not like, changing a tire. When this one is done, you get another new one and
Yes.
continue.
Yes.
It's a lifelong commitment. So if you don't get the right person, you'll face so many challenges in life. And partly that's the reason why there are lots of marriages breaking down today, because maybe we didn't approach it right at the point of making
What you are looking for.
the decision on who to settle down with. You didn't let God to help you take you to the right person. You went in with your own standards of evaluating who is right for you, and then maybe after some years you realize you are wrong.
Yes.
The other thing that I wish to mention is the importance of salvation and the importance of living right. Because the only way that you can get help from God is if you live for Him.
Yes.
When God has your back, no matter how hard a situation will be, there's a way out. There's a way out. The Bible says that you've not gone through, no temptation has overcome you that is not common to man.
Yes.
That when you are tempted, God will give a way out. Meaning, no matter how hard a situation is, if you trust in God, He will take you through. For me, that is the only thing that has kept me going. The trust in God and knowing that, His promises are true. The Bible says that His promises are yes and amen. Yeah. So that trust gives you hope to face tomorrow, to know that even though today is tough, tomorrow will be better.
Something will work.
We are a big family. Having a family with 4 children today is not something easy, because people are crying about the economy, hard, inatandika kila mtu. Actually, it's tough. It's not easy. Yeah, extremely. But now you see, God tells you that don't worry, I'll provide for you. Yeah. From the outward, or from a human perspective, it's not the answer, or it's not easy. It's not easy believing that will happen, But through it all, amazingly, we have seen God, provide for us. I think I can say with confidence that there is no single day that we've slept hungry with the kids, despite our number. Of course, people will look at you and say, oh, in today's economy. That is
Mtoto
too
ni
much a
mmoja
number.
bwana.
Yeah, mtoto mmoja ama
Yes.
wawili, boy and girl, you know, the standard modern families,
True.
you know, father, mother,
Yes.
girl, a boy, and chapter closed.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
But children are from God. And I want to tell the viewers who are watching today that never ever kill or deny a child the opportunity to live. Maybe because you feel it's not the right time. Maybe you feel there's no way you'll take care of the child.
Yes.
Children are from God. They are gifts from God. And, you know, God will always provide and open doors if you trust in Him. There are lots of, you know, abortions taking place nowadays. Sometimes, you know, we say we have children who are not ready for, or, you know, who are gotten under different circumstances. But I'll plead with everybody to just understand that regardless of the circumstances, do not take away the life of any child. Yeah, sometimes we do that and then we regret it later.
Yes.
Maybe later when you want a child, you try so hard and you don't get one.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is that we see so many families or so many couples, you know, spending millions and millions just trying to find a child.
True.
And God is not a fool to maybe deny somebody that opportunity to be a parent and make you a parent. There's a reason why that happens.
Yes.
Yeah. So whenever you find yourself in a position of parenthood, take it up with, you know, all the gladness that it comes with, and just go the full journey. Yeah, do not terminate the life of another person. Actually, we are just custodians. We are not, you know, we are not the owners. We are not the right people to decide whether somebody should live or die. Yeah, it's not the right thing to do. Yeah, no matter the circumstances, just let's live. Yeah.
Wow. Your story is just nile hizi unaweza fanya 2 hours 3 hours.
Yeah.
But because of time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for you know, wanting to be here.
Yeah,
it's
been a journey, trying planning and not working out.
Yes, and
but
again,
at least
God's
today,
timing.
yeah, God's timing.
So this is the right timing. I always say God's timing is the best, and this is
Thank
the
you.
perfect timing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
If you ever feel like you need to encourage youths, because I have a good platform where they watch.
Yes. Actually,
and,
I have a lot of passion for the youth. I have a lot of burden in me to make sure that, you know, as the youth, you can see around that most of our youths are not living the way you are supposed to live. You're not making the right decisions. And that is why I'm always, especially on the online platforms, always trying to encourage the youth, always trying to encourage young people in making the right decisions in their early life, you know, when it comes to marriage and all that.
So if you feel like you can share, you can always record whatever you feel like you can. Me, I will post it.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate you and your family, and may God continue strengthening you throughout this journey. As you can continue ministering to the youths and the young ones. Mungu na kupanulie mipaka na familia yako. And may you know, feel and understand God more as you grow. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And my viewers, if you've learned something today like I have, personally I've learned there's nothing as important as prayer. Prayer. Prayer protects everything. It breaks all curses.
We normally say, even if you think that your prayer will not change anything, just pray.
And believe.
Even if you feel like you've reached your end, just pray. Even if it's a single line, just pray. Personally, I never knew actually what my prayers are doing. But when I came to realize
what was planned for
me,
yes,
I realized that they
importance.
actually saved me from a lot of things.
So thank you so much, guys. I'll leave his contacts down below. If you're watching and you feel like you can reach out to him, you need help on anything, talk to him. If you're also looking for anything Apple, please, Apple, you can reach out. They are genuine products and he will deliver. That much I can guarantee.
Sure.
Thank you so much and be blessed.
Thank
you so much, people. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.
God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you.